Hello. Welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. In this long-awaited video, I build the kitchen from the room for old Sims in The Sims 4. This build contains zero custom content. The room for old Sims features a strange, multi-room dollhouse to explore and continues the engaging puzzle gameplay of its predecessors, set against the background of a tragic story. When I played the game, and noticed that there were floor plans of the manor house, the idea of building the house in The Sims 4 was something I could not ignore. Obviously the house and rooms that I build will not be exact replicas of what is in the game, but I am trying to get as close as I can with the in-game items that I have to work with. In the room 4, the kitchen walls are tiled with these groups of 5 tiles. Unfortunately, The Sims 4 doesn't have this type of wall tile pattern, so I had to improvise by sizing down these tiles from the get-together pack and arranging them by hand. I really like the end result, but this was the most tedious thing I've ever done in build mode. Whilst the build itself does not use any custom content, I do use a few mods to help make building a bit easier. These mods are Twisted Mexy's Tool mod and their Better Build by mod. The tool mod allows you to change the axis of items, so that you can rotate it in ways that you normally can't. The best part about the tool mod, in my opinion, is that the Sims 4 gallery sees anything changed by it to still be base game. The Better Build by mod has a load of different options. You can set it to automatically enable different cheats, it can organize debug items, and it can protect things from being deleted in certain circumstances. I will put a link to Twisted Mexy's website in the video description. They have lots of different mods in addition to these two, and they are very proactive in keeping them all updated. I have finished placing all those tiles for now, and have started working on placing the furnishings and clutter for the far end of the kitchen. I use the resizing and height sheets a lot in this build. I quickly found out that the room is a bit too narrow, but I couldn't fix it without breaking the rest of the house. The back of the house especially took me a long time to build, so I decided to just work with the small space and do what I could. Even though I had to use a lot of the same items in this build, I tried to use as many different swatches as I could, and disguise some things by placing other items on them. This way I was able to make the room look a bit more realistic. When I build in The Sims, I move things around quite a bit, and will often replace items several times until I find what I think is the best thing for the job. Debug items are the things I use the most when adding clutter. Here is where I use the tool mod. It is difficult to learn, but once you get the basics down, it comes in really handy, especially when an item would be perfect, if only it were horizontal, instead of vertical. The entire house from the room 4 is very steampunk, and there are a lot of pipes and cogs throughout the house. The pipes and ducts from several Sims 4 packs are being used quite heavily here, as you can see. Again, you'll notice that I am trying several different ideas on where, and how, the pipes should be placed. Since the pipes play a large part in the Room 4 game, I wanted to get it looking as close as possible to how the devs had it. I do wish that The Sims had more pipes and ducts for me to work with, and that there were more colors for me to choose from. Industrial Pipe DLC, please, Sims Gurus. This is where I realized that the kitchen was a bit too narrow. The platform where the internal door goes took up more room than I thought it would. I would love to have horizontal and vertical versions of each pipe and duct in The Sims 4. That way I wouldn't have to spend so long messing about in the tool mod every time I needed to rotate this pipe. I wish I could call a plumber in The Sims, and have them do this for me. That would be pretty neat, actually. Just draw lines where you want the pipes to go, and the game builds them on its own. But I guess that's just a pipe dream. I haven't tested this room in live mode, so I don't know if Sims can use the sink with the pots and pans in it. If you know, please leave a comment saying if they can, or not. In the room 4, there were pipes running along the ceiling. In The Sims 4, however, there are no pipes that go that high. So I used ducts instead. I think they work rather well. The wood-burning stove really annoyed me. The room 4 has a stove with 2 cupboards either side, but I didn't have enough room to do that here. The most annoying thing was that none of the black swatches matched each other, so the color is a bit off. I also wish that I could have matched the color of the pipes and the stove extractor here, but again, I was limited to what the Sims 4 team put in the game. Please put color wheels in The Sims 5 for build by items. Don't make me beg. I had to move the door and platform to fit the table and servants' bells. That piece of meat there can't be hygienic, but considering what happens in the game, I don't think it really matters. That butcher's cutting board wall decoration is the best, for when you need a wooden board. It's quickly becoming one of my favorite items in the game. And now I'm back to placing those individual tiles. What fun! Please add sarcasm to that last sentence. This TTS bot doesn't do sarcasm. While we're on the subject, you may be wondering why I'm using a text-to-speech bot instead of doing the voiceover myself. My son is out of college for the summer and my partner works from home. The only place I can record is too hot even with a fan. My choices are to either not do a voiceover at all, or to use a text-to-speech program. For videos like these, a voiceover is kind of needed, so I decided on choice B. Once it cools down, I'll go back to doing my usual voiceovers. I realized that I needed a shelf-like platform behind the stove, so I moved it out of the alcove, and added the pipes which lead above, and behind, the stove. While I was decorating this room, I couldn't help but think how neat it would be if I could add some little puzzles like they did in the room 4. Alas, The Sims isn't made for that, so we'll just have to pretend. This bit was very fiddly. I couldn't zoom in close enough to see what I was doing, and every time I tried to click on something, I'd end up clicking on something else. Still, I managed to get it done and am quite happy with the way it turned out. One thing is for certain, though. I am never placing these wooden tiles like this, ever again. Once I am finished decorating every room in this house, I will put it on the Sims 4 gallery, where you can download it, and put it in your own game. I apologize ahead of time for any frame rate issues caused by the sheer number of tiles in this room. We're nearing the end of this build now. First though, is one more wall of tiles. I think the value of the house went up by over 10,000 simoleons on account of these tiles, by the way. Again, I would have loved this to be a different color, but this is literally the only swatch this item comes in, and it's the only thing that came close to matching what was in the room 4. Adding some flowers, and such, to finish this area off. This cookie jar, from the Country Living pack, is so cute. It has a few swatches as well, so you can have tea, coffee, flour, or cookies. That little compartment, with the tea kettle inside, is meant to be a dumbwaiter. It isn't usable in The Sims 4, but it's part of a puzzle in the room 4. Every room in this house, that is visited by the player in the room 4, contains an open book. In the room 4, this book is a journal, which tells you the story of what happened in this house. I wish The Sims 4 allowed you to write in this book. It would be a really neat way to leave Easter eggs, clues, or backstory, in your builds. Thank you for your patience for this video. I know it's taken me a long time to get this edited and uploaded to YouTube. Hopefully the next one doesn't take me as long. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. I stream The Sims 4 gameplay, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, on twitch.tv/muirdragon, starting around 9:30 AM, UK time. I would love to see you there. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.